James Watson Jr. on our right. We got Marcus Foster. Start with a statement from head coach Creighton.
I'm not shocked that it was a close game. I've been coaching a long time, and I've yet to experience a good week of practice during finals week, and this week fell right in line with the others. It's just the change in routine is difficult, and I knew Oral Roberts was going to come to play. I watched him go toe-to-toe with Michigan State till the last minute. They had Ole Miss beat in the Virgin Islands. We were there for that game. So I knew what they were capable of, and I knew they wouldn't quit because, Coach Sutton's teams don't quit. And we got a little maybe a little sloppy when we got that lead early. Things came a little easy early, and then we kind of quit digging in defensively. I thought early we defended okay, and then we allowed them to kind of just hang around enough instead of throwing out that knockout punch, and then we had an opportunity to do it again in the second half, up 54-41, and just some miscommunication and late rotations, poor positioning, and those are things that we've got to get fixed quickly. But over the course of the season, you're not going to play perfect for 32 games. And my bosses always say, Bruce has always said, you play a third probably a little better than you're capable of playing, a third somewhere in the middle, and then you play a third of your games where you don't play very well, and you hope you find a way to survive on those nights, and that really is going to determine the difference between a good season and a great season. And tonight, we got away with one because Oral Roberts was obviously ready to play and very good tonight.
Questions for the student athletes?
Coach, both guys, that banked in three looks like, you see those things on stage. That's what upsets are made of right there. They're up 5, 6 minutes left. They don't score again the rest of the game. I guess what was the key to kind of locking down that last 6 minutes to help you guys get over the hump?
Just after that last time out, we kind of huddled up as a team, and we lost a lot of them games last year, and we kind of reminded ourselves of that taste that we get in our mouths from losing those games like that, and then wanting to see some growth and some progression from last year to buckle down and get an early test or get a kind of late test in the season and see if we can come out on top.
When he hit that three, we just kind of felt that they were taking a bigger lead than we wanted them to have, so we just got refocused in the huddle, and we just stepped up and played the best defense we played all night.
What did you notice, Marcus, just about that defense? I think you guys may have shown a little 1-3-1 in there, but for the most part, man, you just were
Yeah.
your guys on the final 6 minutes. What happened? What was different then?
We just turned up our pressure. The whole thing going in, we had to pressure them. We weren't pressuring the guards like we should. Our big men weren't fronting how they should or communicating. So it was just everything that we practiced just finally came in place in that last 6 minute span when they went up 5.
Maurice, I don't know if you guys have had a stretch on offense. I think I don't know, the number was 2 of 11 or 12 or something where shots weren't falling, you weren't getting offensive boards. How'd you work through that?
First, I'm not really too happy about that span. That just was on me. I just was careless with the basketball tonight, and it shows because Coach Mack tells me I don't want to give up pick sixes and to turn the ball over for a team like against Oral Roberts who are good in transition. It was turning into pick sixes. So, and then I was down, and the team kind of follows my body language and my in my face, and I was upset at myself, and I think they kind of took that mold of how I was trying to lead, and then just talking to Kobe and Caleb and Davion in the huddle. And Jordan, they're just telling me, look, man, you got to put us on your back and bring us home. And I try to do that on defense. And then, we got Justin a dunk. We got Marcus back in there, and we just settled down and got some good possessions through their zone. And I think that's what helped us come out on top.
You get some fouls to give in those last few seconds. That kind of, did you know that, and was that why you were a little bit more aggressive on that inbounds with 5.7 to go?
Yeah, we knew that. I just knew that he wasn't looking at me when he was taking off an outlet, and that's the toughest play. So I wanted to make sure I gave him a step so I didn't get a charge or a foul. and it just worked out. But when you're trying to play hard and you're trying to do things the right way with the team in mind, the basketball guys look out for you.
Two more for the student athletes.
You guys just maybe had the biggest test of the year so far, I guess, unexpectedly, but now you get on a true road stint. You're outside of the state for the first time. What can you guys expect kind of coming out of tonight?
It's kind of the same. Just kind of, still getting teams' best shots. Arizona State, we kind of, have some animosity just because we lost last year to them. So it's a game that we have circled right now. But at the end of the day, it's about us doing us. And just being, Creighton basketball and using this test as a way to learn. We can't shy down from the film. We can't back down from constructive criticism. We got to use it to get better.
Playing on the road is always tough. So everybody's going to be rooting against us. So we have to be closer than we ever been all season to go in there. Arizona State's a very good team, so we have to come prepared and ready to play from the jump.
Any last question?
However you guys got here, you are 11-0, and I guess sitting on paper, maybe before the season, it's where you wanted to be. So what grade would you give yourself, I guess, walking out of your last home non-con?
I don't know if I should answer that. I think we just kind of like a C-, C. Just it was really low before that, but you're not gonna be perfect, and you want to see things out of your players during adversity, and we got challenged tonight, and regardless of the grade, we stepped up and we passed this test, and we got to forget it. We can't let it linger and let it turn into another game like that, and we got to keep getting better and just keep striving.
Yeah, I would say about a C or a B. I feel we could play a whole nother level through conference play, so I think we'll be ready once conference start.
Thanks, gentlemen.
See you tomorrow. Yep.
See you.
Continue with questions for Coach Greg McDermott.
You said that the defense are let down there. Talk about the defense in the last 6 minutes to hold them scoreless. Did you see something pick up? How did that look to you?
Well, we scored on 6 of our last 29 possessions and won. So the 1-3-1 was, I guess my decision was twofold. Number one, to show them something different. Obviously, their plan was to run 15, 20 seconds of shot clock before they even attacked. And the 1-3-1 we felt would keep them from doing that, knowing maybe we're going to give up some perimeter shots, and we gave up a couple, but I thought we did a pretty good job challenging, and we got the rebound. Also thinking maybe we could get a turnover and lead to some easy offense. But we used it, I think, 3 possessions, and I think we got 3 stops. So it was certainly at a, we've worked on that more than we have at any time during my 7 years in practice. Haven't used it a lot in games, but obviously it came up big for us tonight.
Just a man, what did you see? I mean, Marcus said something about just maybe executing the plan a little bit more down the stretch.
Yeah, we got lost on some rotations, was on some post double teams and in some ball screen situations where we just didn't cover things the way we were supposed to, or we're half a step late of getting to where we were supposed to be. And we adjusted our ball screen coverage the last couple minutes when we went back to man, and kept Justin maybe a little flatter and to allow him to maybe protect the rim a little bit better and not give that throwback 3 up as much as we were early in the game. But I'm disappointed that we weren't able to throw the knockout punch like we've done so often this year. Also pleased that we found a way with our backs against the wall. It's not like we scored 9 possessions in a row to win the game. We had to get some stops, and to their credit, we were able to do that.
At the risk of sounding too cliche, did you learn more about what your team's made of maybe in the last 6 minutes than you did the first 2 games?
We found a way to win, and that's encouraging. Along with not practicing well, not very often out of the break have we played well. Any of the teams I've coached, it's just a different week. And our crowd was awesome there late and got into it and really helped us. But, we threw some goofy lineups on the floor. We decided to go with Z kind of with 4 guards and Justin so we could switch some of those perimeter ball screens and keep guys in front of us a little bit better, and I thought we executed that part well. So you find out a lot when your backs are against the wall, and our guys responded pretty well.
Offensively, no, like not a lot of turnover. It was hard. You weren't running as much in the second half. So point to that as far as
Well, first of all, the second half was a 33 possession half, so without question the lowest possession half we played all year, and that had more to do with them than it did us. Especially when they got it close, they're able to kind of play keep away out front or dribble the ball and wait till the last 10 seconds to attack and wait for us to make a mistake, and that happened far too often. But I was very disappointed in our offensive rebounding because they weren't really pushing it in transition, and we were begging our guys to get to the glass and try to make an impact there, and we just weren't able to do that. And part of that credit goes to Oral Roberts. They're pretty well schooled fundamentally in terms of blockouts and not giving you second opportunities. But the bottom line is we won. We'll learn a lot. The film session will be interesting tomorrow, I'm sure, because there was some blatant breakdowns on the defensive end of the floor and a few quick shots. Quick shots are okay when you're on a roll. Quick shots aren't okay when you're struggling to score. You got to get a great shot. You can't have a good shot in those scenarios. You have to have a great shot, and we're having a hard time seeing the difference between the two, and it's my job to make sure they understand that.
Take one more question for Coach.
I know you probably.
I'll take two. Go ahead.
Okay. We asked you about free throw shooting last time. I just wanted to see you guys shooting it all the time in practice. Do you change your approach? Do you talk to your guys any different?
And I just told them you got to get off your couch and you got to get in more. We're doing. I've come up with every free throw drill imaginable the last 10 days of practice, but Taz is shooting 80-some%. Cole's shooting over 80%. What other guys you want on the line in that situation? They missed them, and they missed them, and we won. So hopefully they understand. I got to do a little bit more, and I think they will.
You got 2 for 1. That was my question.
Perfect. Have a good night. Merry Christmas, everybody.